What's up, everybody? Yellow for yellow and yellow. Worked out well. Welcome to our huge unboxing. First, I want to say congratulations to our giveaway winner, Outer Space VR. Outer Space VR would be his YouTube channel. Congratulations, you've won our RS3M V5. It's got a special edition now. It's got UV coating. Let's see how that looks. Trying to get my light adjusted in here. You can see the shine. There we go. There's that glare on the red. Ooh, there we go. Came out really nice. Got maglev put in here. Got a premium lube setup. Yeah. Just wanted to say too, I weighed this because we're gonna unbox the RS3M V5 standard that was supposed to be the giveaway cube. And I just want to say they come at 65 grams out of the box. This one now weighs 74. So with UV coating, maglev, and all the lube I've put in here, we've added only 9 grams, and it is a perfect 74 grams. I mean, if you know anything about 3x3, 60s are pretty low, and 80s is kind of high. So 70 is like sweet spot. I mean, we nailed it on this thing. So again, congratulations to Mr. Outer Space VR. I'll get this sent out ASAP. Yeah, as soon as we can. So congratulations again, and I just want to make sure you guys know we will have another giveaway going on. As soon as one ends, the next one begins. So if you guys want to, I would love to hear your feedback. We have two options. We have a 2x2 and a 3x3, what we're considering modding and giving away. So if you're interested in either of those, let me know in the comments. Just say 2x2 or 3x3, and I'm gonna kind of count the votes. I might even do a poll on the post, but I'll pull your guys' answers. But I want to know what you guys want to win. So let me know, and let's get to this unboxing. We got a big unboxing, big old package from the Cubicle today. I think the biggest one I've ever gotten actually, but there's a reason. A little surprise in there. So here we go. And I apologize. I had kind of some audio problems and whatnot, and I think we've got all that fixed, so hopefully everything should be sounding and looking good now. Yeah, it's been a work in progress for sure. But here we go. So we have a bunch of goodies. So we have the Yuxin Magic, or Yuxin Little Magic 2x2 magnetic. We have the QiYi M Pro 4x4. Any of you that really follow me, you know I've been on a tear to find a good 4x4. I've been going through mine like crazy, trying to figure out what's the best and whatnot. And so I got this. It was only $15, so I really wanted to try it out. But we'll get to that. Maglev kit. This is for my what's the next cube? This is what I'm really excited about. Is the RS3M 2020. And as you can see, as they put so very clearly there, UV. They didn't put really anything else on the box but UV. So this is the original RS3M 2020, but UV coated. Really excited for that one. And then we have what was supposed to be our giveaway cube. A lot of you know this came a little bit late, so what I did was I took my RS3M V5 standard, my personal one, and I UV coated it, put maglev. Actually, the maglev was in it because I love maglev. But then put my like premium loop setup. So you got my setup exactly. You're winning my cube. I just want to let you know. This. I'll have to set this up and try and get this to where mine was, but you're winning mine exactly how I wanted it. So hopefully it's good for you. But here's the RS3M V5 standard. That'll be another one. And then again, we have our little Cubicle gift card, or not gift card, just card in general. But it's not a cube stand. I'm surprised. I mean, I like the look of it, but they used to always do a cube stand. And then lastly, this is why they needed the big box. It's just like the little surprise, I guess. But got the cubicle backpack. And it's not just a backpack, it is a cube backpack. So it has dividers and whatnot. We'll get into that as well. But real quick, I also wanted to say this was the first thing I got. It came in a separate package, so I was actually able to open it and put it on and everything. But this is the Lunar New Year. Uh, Shirt and is probably I would say limited edition because it's for a special event, so that's why I wanted to get it because it's not going to be always available. Like some of these products, they'll always be around as long as they're relevant, but this will be limited edition and then sold out, and so I just figured I'd pick one up. Plus, like I said, it happens to match the hat pretty nice, so yeah, happy coincidence, but we'll take it. So let's get into the cubes. All right, enough about my wardrobe. So oh man, that is addicting. The giveaway cube. The kid's gonna love it. I'm so excited. So let's get into this. The Yuxin. I've actually never bought or owned a Yuxin puzzle before, so I'm actually very excited. I've looked. I like for some reason. I think their pyramids seem nice. I don't know why. Uh, but really straightforward box, very thin, and also just pointing out this is the type of cardboard. When I say use thin cardboard for your UV coating projects, this is the type of cardboard I mean. It's like almost paper thin. And you know how that is. These rip really easy and whatnot. And so if you ever have any extra box laying around and you want a UV coated cube, this is the thickness I'm talking about. It's totally off topic, I realize that, but it was a point of reference for other videos and whatnot. So the Yushin Little Magic comes with a Yushin stand. It's hard to get the, there it is. Yushin. I'll point this down just a little bit so you can get more of a view of what's going on here. Um, so again, like I said, had some troubles with video and audio and whatnot, and I ended up reshooting this video because I didn't just felt like it'd be better if I redid it. And so in the process, I actually have originally um, did I had a kind of harsh opinion about the cubes, and that's why I'm glad that I'm redoing it because with just a tiny bit of lube and even just breaking it in and loosening it, like when I first opened this, it was terrible. Not gonna lie, it was really catchy, and it just I mean it was so dusty feeling almost that it just I don't know, it was a big turn off. Like actually when I opened it the first time, it had like dust and dirt all over the outside. I was very surprised. I'm like, I mean, we know how that goes, but so I'll probably end up taking this apart and fully cleaning it. But I did drop just a little bit of lube in there just to feel what it's like. I didn't waste a bunch because I'm obviously going to clean it out. But um, I will say this is a much nicer puzzle than I originally was thinking. It's still a budget puzzle. I mean, it's not like I think it was like $6 or $7 on the website. Um, and that's the other thing. I was able to pull up the information on all these cubes so you guys can know. So this is the Yuxin Little Magic. It's a 50 millimeter, so it's a little smaller than the GAN, or like the QiYi M Pro is 51, but it's 74 grams. So again, this weighs the same as our giveaway cube. Put in perspective. That's why I was saying like this is such a beautiful weight at 74 grams. So again, this 2x2 is the same weight, but I will say again, as much as I kind of gave this cube a hard time, it has glossy plastic. It's not like, UV, but you'll see a nice reflection on there if you can get it. It's a little bit like scratched because I think this is, I think, yeah, I think these cubes have been around for a while. I think it was like 2019 or 2020 or something like this. It's been around for a minute, so I think this might be some of this, it's been sitting in a warehouse somewhere for a while. Just the looks of the scratches. I mean, you can see the plastic like right there. You see that? Like that's like I don't even know how to get that. That's all scratches. This part might be like some kind of sticky like tape or glue or something. So far, like it's not the pretty. I mean, like I said, when I first opened it, I was like, "Ooh, it's glossy plastic." And again, an older puzzle is gonna have glossy plastic because they stopped doing glossy and started UV so they can charge you. Um, but yeah, again, this thing feels so much nicer than I originally thought. I was a little harsh on it. I'm gonna post. I did some solves in the original unboxing that I'm gonna post in there, and I'll post some of my original reactions too, just because they changed drastically. This was actually gonna be a secondary video posting my reactions after setup because during the first unboxing video, I just realized out of the box is not a good like representation of how that cube's gonna perform. That's just how I feel personally, but like because we'll get to that, and I'll point it out as we go. But this is the first example. Like this felt terrible. Honestly, it was like so slow and like again, it felt like it was filled with dust that I almost didn't want to turn it. And now that I've kind of broken that free, and I think we really just need to take it apart and clean it out. That's the rest. Um, but even with just a couple drops of lube and I loosened all the screws a little bit, it was just over tightened and under lubed essentially. And I even did some practice solves. Like I said, I'll include those because I had some solid times actually on completely unlubed, completely unset up, broken, all that. I got some good times on them, so that's why I want to show the actual true, dry cubing experience. But I also want to show you guys what these cubes can be once they're set up right. Again, I'm still getting a few catches on here, but if you have pretty precise turning, this thing would be really good for you. I mean, like if I'm really focusing, if I'm not just kind of spamming loosely, like this thing feels pretty nice. It is magnetic. The magnets are very weak. They're very weak. But on 2x2, I kind of like that, to be honest, because you don't want too much like click, 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 just because you have your hands on every single piece of the puzzle like at all times. So it's not too hard to get it into position. But that is the Yuxin Little Magic 2x2. I believe there's a version 2 that is like $1 more. I don't know quite what is the difference between those, but that must be the newer one. That's why I assume this is probably the older version. But again, it's not solid puzzle, totally, viable. I mean, look at it, just, like, been trying to insert a pair, so, a pair, but you're trying to insert a corner. Um, I guess not bad. Like I said, it could be so much worse. It could be, yeah, just so much worse. But again, I'm gonna post my solves that I did. At the end of the video, you'll see exactly what I solved as they're out of the box, and then I'll do another set of solves at the end of this video with them loops. So that's the Yushin Little Magic 2x2. It doesn't come with much. This is just a false bottom, and there's no box or tensioning tools or anything. It's just a 2x2 solving guide in a box. So. Um, yeah, that's that. Let's move on. Let's get to our next. So I'm gonna go through kind of the more a little bit plainer cubes, just get them out of the way, and then we'll get to the ones that I'm really excited to talk about. So here is our RS3M V5 standard. So we have a little cube stand like Moyu usually does. We have our cube. Again, I apologize. The plastic was I took it off in the first videos because I thought I was actually unboxing it, and then I had to redo it. So nothing ever quite works out like you plan, but you got to roll with the punches. So yeah, this thing it's so unbelievably light and just so effortless to turn. I mean, I'm like barely, barely touching it. And I mean, and it's funny because I said this in the first video, and again, I wish people would have heard it, but I said, there's no way this cube weighs more than 65 grams. And then I looked on the website, and it was 65 grams exactly. And I even went out and weighed it on my own scale, and it's like 64.8 or something like that. So yeah, it's right. It's pretty light. And my comparison, my point was, it reminds me a lot of like the Maylong actually. I even did a post about this. I compared the Maylong to the RS3M V5 to I think it was like the Tornado and one other cube that all had almost identical center caps. They had this like round, perfectly round circle with like a scalloped, like tapering off edge that went to like it just they were. I mean, I did a challenge where I challenged people to identify them just by look, and no one could get them right. And it was amazing how people thought that the $4 Maylong was a $40 Tornado and whatnot, and vice versa. It's really really unbelievable. And it just shows you too, like the puzzles are all very similar if you think about it. So it's all really about performance and preference, as I would say. So I like this cube because again, it's so effortless to turn. When I first got it, I just remember like I was like, oh, that's so buttered. And this one I have not lubed or anything. The only one I really lubed was the Yushin and I put a little lube in the 4x4 just because I wanted to see how that would change the feel. But again, this is completely dry. I haven't done anything to it, and feels amazing. And so I don't mean to compare it to the Maylong in a bad way. I know the Maylong is, a budget cube, but so is this essentially. I mean, this is a $9 cube. It's just the standard. It has, pop it open so you can see it's got no dual compression. It's just the screw and spring in there. Sorry for the harsh lighting. I'm still figuring that out too. Um, Yeah, no compression cup is the point. No blue compression cup. And I have tried to put those in these cubes before, and essentially what happens is it sits on the tightest compression because those are the teeth that are lowest down, and it makes the cube feel a little bit too compressed. Um, because well, like I'll say, this is so tight. I'm not anyone that does 3x3 knows that you can open this up and usually see like the edge of your footing. So this is incredibly tight, but not even corner cutting at all. Corner cuts at like line to line is as far as just over line to like the first line is as far as this corner cuts right now. But that's just because it is no setup. And that's why again, I'll do a solve on this at the end, but it's not going to be anything representative of what this cube can be. Um, Again, 65 grams is very light, but you add lube, you add maglev, which I'm planning on doing. Maglev, sorry, wrong bag. But and you're gonna start adding a little bit of weight. That lube is gonna make the layers feel a little more cushiony, and it's gonna make them also feel a little more heavy because you're gonna have some resistance when you're turning. That lube, when you slow your cube down, is gonna even if the layer isn't actually heavier, it's gonna take a little more force to turn it, which is then gonna make it feel heavier. So there's some adjustments where I think this cube, with maglev added and lube, if it ends up right around the 70-gram mark, that'll be butter. That'll be beautiful. If you think about that, like a lot of the best GAN puzzles were like 68, 70 gram, like the GAN 12. They were so light and the performance was amazing, and that's what I'm going for on this. And that's what I was going for on the giveaway cube, just FYI. Again, 74 grams with UV coating, maglev, and everything. That's a killer outcome. So yeah, this cube though, there's a reason I use it for the giveaway cube. It's my favorite budget cube, I think of all time. Uh, I mean, there's other cheaper ones, there's other different ones, but as far as like a $9 cube, I mean, I might say like if you're really gonna buy one, go for the dual compression, but I also have both, and they don't make a big difference, honestly. Especially once you get maglev in this baby, it really doesn't matter. But that's my opinion, of course. So that's the RS3M V5. Oh, I didn't even go through the accessory box, so this is an unboxing. What the heck? Um, I think it was because it was at the other end of the box and it was hard to get out. So, real quick, let's just go over. It's going to be very straightforward because there's no compression. Again, there's no dual compression in this. So there shouldn't be compression, an extra compression cup. You shouldn't be, the compression tensioning part or adjustment tool. It should pretty much just be a screwdriver, which it is. It's a screwdriver, the same Moyu screwdriver that everyone gets all the time. It's funny, we brought this up in one of the unboxing that happened at the comp, but YJ, um, yeah, it was YJ, they had their almost exact same screwdriver, just with a longer piece of plastic. The blue part was just longer, and you could definitely tell that, you know, I don't know if they're trying to rip them off, but they might just be like, well, if it breaks, why fix? If it ain't broke, why fix it? Kind of thing, you know. Like if that's what works for MoU, then it could work for us too. So, all right, we're gonna put that back in the box. And again, I'll do a solve on these at the end, now that they've been set up, and then I'll also post the solves I did when they weren't set up. So you can kind of compare the outcomes. But even this, like, oh, I guess on the 4x4, I wanted to hold off till last. I just started getting excited. But here we go. So this is the RS3M 2020 UV edition. So again, I've bought my friend an RS3M Super, the 2022 version, and it came in this older case, and I always thought that was kind of neat. Um, Even just the fact that like the case kind of like you can do multiple things with it. Like if you want to set the stand, like I know this is all silly, don't get me wrong. If you want to like go ahead and put the stand on here and then put this stand on here, like they really set you up so you could try and display that cube. So if you want to put this on your coffee table or something, like you absolutely can. But it's a little crazy and a little bit. I think they realize it's a little bit big and outdated at this point. But this cube again, I did do the lightest setup. I put a few drops of what was it, Mystic in there just to see how it would feel with a little bit of more cushion. And oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. I also There's let's check our corner cutting. This is one line. This is 45. This is just under 2 lines. So corner cuts up to 2 lines. Um, you can see the UV coating. Let's see. So my screen went dark. The UV coating looks really nice. Okay, and I'll point this out just for everyone. See the imperfections, the dimples and everything. See like the AirPod fell out. Don't worry. But you see like there's little cross pieces. You can literally see the internal kind of works of the cube. You can see like there's a crossbar here, a crossbar here, a crossbar here, a crossbar here. Um, and I just point this out because when I do my DIY ones, I'm so hard on myself. But I have to remember that even the ones from the factory don't come out perfect. I mean, they're about as perfect as they can be, but you can always find an imperfection. I mean, it's still a process that's not perfect completely, but it looks beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I I can imagine the 2020 standard version with the non-UV coating looks amazing. But this just looks phenomenal. And again, after just turning the RS3M V5, now I have an RS3M 2020 from 3 or 4 years earlier, and it still feels amazing. As like I said, performance is great. Um, Uh, it is lightning fast though. I will say this, like that little bit of lube helped a lot because like there, I can do a U2 easily, but I was getting U3s before I even lubed it. So yeah, it's extremely fast. I will say, like I know that's a lot of cubes dry out of the box, but this one, like like the V5 for example, like it may be sorry, it may be, dry and whatnot. Like, so let's see. Oh, maybe. So it almost does a U3. That's what I was trying to get to. I was trying. So I guess it's close. I guess I just was being a little harsh, but but yeah, honestly too, like I want to compare these. So because one of these is the giveaway cube, and one of them is our new RS3M 2020. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to see how good our giveaway cube came out, and also like how close and similar they look. And again, it's just a I have them in my hand, so it's a really cool comparison to do. Uh, Earlier when I did it, I didn't actually have that cube, so I kept thinking, oh, I wish I had this on me. But I will say the only difference with the older cube, and I feel like this is part of why they've changed the piece shape a little bit, is it's a little bit catchier, and that's going to be my problem to work with. I think it just requires a little bit more precise turning, which again that's something for me to work on. That's not for their fault. I think this is a cube where really overturning hard and whatnot isn't necessarily going to get you. I think turning really nice and accurately is where this cube really like excels. Um, yeah, there's the RS3M 2020 UV. So real quick, I didn't go over. So the RS3M V5, like I said, I told you the weight on that, but it's 55.5 millimeters. So it's a little smaller than like the 56, and I believe also that it's not actually 55.5. I want to say it's like 55.3 or something. So it's actually closer to 55. Um, it's just a slightly because it's the same with the Worm 9. Like that one's not actually 55. I want to say it's like 54.8 or something like that. So like in relation, like the V5 is point 0.5 millimeters bigger, but it's just relative. Like it makes again it makes the Worm 9 feel like it's 55, but it's really like 54.8. Same like so this is um got like 55 point, sorry, 54.8. So yeah, it's just I get it. They're both very close. I mean, you're talking about half of a millimeter here. I just I really like the 55s, and again I say I bring all this up because I like the worm, that the fact that it's a little smaller. I would actually be very curious. I think this is 55.5 as well, the 2020 version. Um, and that's why again I really like to main the worm V9s because it's a little smaller, and you can feel it when you've been practicing on the V9 and you switch to the V5 or Stand V5, it feels slightly inflated, and you're talking a half of a millimeter. You know what I mean? So this just shows you though that it does make a difference. So um, let's see, did I look up the size on this one? Oh, I did. So this is, I was right. It's 55.5. I don't know why. But the other thing though is this is heavy. I looked it up and it's 88 grams. And that's the non-UV coated one. I think mine was like 90 grams or something like that. So this is on the heavy side. Uh, but also, again, I'm putting maglev in this, and I'm gonna do my own mods and whatnot, but not too much more than maglev. But that's why mine's gonna get to about 90 grams. I think I think they were is 86, and then the UV coated one was 88. So it'd be fine. It's still on the heavy side. Don't get me wrong. I said 75 is a pretty like middle of the road number for cubes. So anything on the high 80s is actually pretty heavy. But to be honest, though, it doesn't feel that heavy in my hands. It doesn't feel like heavy. Doesn't feel tiring to turn. Uh, I didn't actually like notice until I looked it up or and put it on the scale. I actually had to even double check the number because I thought maybe they misprinted it. But there is your RS3M 2020 UV. Like I said, we'll solve on each of these. Here's what I've been waiting to get to. This was one of the big things I wanted to get because if you know anything about me, I love 4x4, but I have not been happy with my 4x4s of late. I really was considering getting the VIN Cube, but they had some quality control issues, so I just hold it off on waiting or hold it off on getting it just until they figure things out, which now they have. And now if you go to order it, they're sold out. So uh, I'll get one. But yeah, that and I want to say the Worm, the WRM Waylong 2019. That is the other cube that I'm dying to get. I tried one at a comp. It was amazing. And now I'm just like super hell bent to go buy one. Especially before they like discontinue them or something. I'd be so sad. But here we go with the QiYi M Pro. This is not ball core. I keep wanting to say ball core UV because that's everything is ball core UV these days. But when their 2x2 was ball core. But this is just 4x4 standard mechanisms and everything. Screw and spring on each side. Um, the colors are nice. I will say they're just pretty standard. A little bit dark. Like I guess they're pretty close to the Moyu colors. I was gonna say they're a little bit darker. Like you can see this one actually looks brighter in this picture, but it's just because I think it is brighter. So this one's a little darker though. This has a brighter shade of orange. This has a darker green. I think it just depends on what color you're talking about. Um, this cube, like so again, when I first opened it, I was like, I'm not stoked. I knew it was only $15, but I wanted to try it anyways, and I'd heard some somewhat mixed reviews, but positive stuff still also too. So I was like, let's do it. Especially I knew I couldn't get the Vin Cube yet, so I figured why not try something out. And it was between this and the Diane Shang Solar 4 or the S4, S4 UV actually I think it was. I heard good things about that puzzle actually. And I'm just very hesitant about Diane Shang because personally don't have any of their puzzles. I've heard mixed reviews, so I went with this one, and I I'm happy. And now that now that I've already opened it, I can tell you this thing is great. I was really harsh on it when I first opened it because I was like, it feels cheap. Um, but the fact that now that I've put a little lube in it, it doesn't feel so cheap and like scratchy and light anymore. And actually, the inner magnets are nice and strong, but not overly strong. The outer layers are probably pretty weak magnets, but that's in a good way because you're not gonna then you don't go turning two layers at once. You have to actually so even when I grab this one, it starts turning that outer layer. Like you have to actually hold it because those inner magnets are stronger. But again, not in a bad way. I will do a little bit of a solve here and everything. We're getting to that point. But yeah, let me just go through the rest of it. There's not really anything else in here. Also, this is just like the three by three and 2x2 were. It's just a box. I had the solving guide at the bottom and another false bottom like the other box did, but that is it. I mean, it's a cool little case, but if you think about it, this is the case they give you. Who really wants to carry this big thing around? I mean, it may look like nice and presentable or whatnot, but like, do you really want to have to carry the extra real estate around with you? I don't, so that's where I would put this in a bag and or find a case that fits for it or something. Anyways, so again, this cube again feels like it's gonna be like a disappointment or something out of the box because I knew the price point going in, and I'm one of those people where I usually think you get what you pay for, but a lot of these brands are not like that. You know, sometimes you just get a good deal and that's the way it is. So let's go over the specs of this real quick. 15.99. That's it. $16. Only 110 grams. And when I say only, I know that might sound heavy, but 110 grams is actually 10 grams lighter than the Aosu from Moyu. So the Moyu Aosu is 119 or 120 grams. It's also bigger. It's like a half millimeter or millimeter bigger than this. This is 58 and a half. And then if you know anything about 4x4s, a lot of them are 60 millimeters. That's why you have like the GAN 460 4x4 that's 60 millimeters. GAN has a very interesting but specific way of naming their cubes where it's literally just like the amount of layers in the puzzle and how big it is. Not very creative, but it is you do understand, at least I understand what they're trying to say. So when I see the 251, it's a 2 by 2. That's 51 millimeters, so on and on. It's like the 356, 3 by 3, that's 56 millimeters. So I will stop now. But anyways, this cube, like I said, is so surprising. It wasn't until I started doing a solve, and in the middle of the solve, that part you'll see because the solves I'm gonna post. But I actually was like, oh my gosh, I was so hard on this cube. It was ridiculous. I was so crazily hard on it when it's actually is a good performing cube. And um, when you're thinking about again what the competitors are for this, like so my Aosu was one of the competitors, the Meilong 4, and the Meilong actually is very close to this, very close in size. They're both light and small, and have like a lighter, cheaper plastic feel, but in a good way. And this one actually seems a little more rigid than the Maylong does. The Maylong, and this may not be the case over time, again, because I know some days when I'm turning less accurately or if I'm nervous or whatever, I don't cube as well, and then the cube starts coming out of form, and then I start blaming the cube, and I know it's really my turning. But yeah, this thing haven't found the sweet spot in tension yet. That's gonna take some time, and that's gonna take a few more practice solves, but um, you really can like I don't feel like I'm being hard on it. Like I'm turning really rough, and I don't feel like it's gonna break or like anything. Yeah, it feels nice. It feels solid. Um, yeah, I think that it's a great deal for the price, by the way. I know I always say for the price is a horrible thing to say, but this one is. I mean, again, if you're, I think Sean from Seakeep Review said a very similar thing about it, that if you're looking to get into this 4x4 and you don't know quite what to get, this is a great puzzle and a great choice because it's cheap and it won't let you down. And this is a viable speed cube option. Absolutely. Like this is viable for comp is what I mean. Like I could absolutely consider using this for my main. I don't know that I will. I'm gonna have to do some solves and see how everything works out. But I think that again, I think this is very close to the Maylong, with the feel and everything. I see the weight and the feel of the plastic and everything. Very close. So yeah, that takes us through our puzzles. Let's take a look at our backpack. So this thing super cool. And like I said, I have comps coming up, and I don't have. Ooh, sorry, my neck was hurt. I don't have a good case to carry my cubes around in. I have one case. It is so cool. It's a hard plastic case that opens, and it has six perfect cube-shaped, holes. And again, that's great for a 3x3. It holds all my, even up to my 5x5s. But if it's any other shape of puzzle, say you have a Megaminx or a clock or a Pyraminx or anything else that's not cube shaped is not going to fit in there. And so I thought I was set. And then as my cube collection and my repertoire of events that I want to compete in expanded, um, I thought I just needed a new carrying case. So especially again, if you're gonna be doing lots of different events, and not only is that, but you want to have a place to hold your lube. You want to have a place to hold your tools for adjustment. You want to have, all your accessories and whatnot. You don't want to have to be like last comp I just had a backpack and all my cubes were just like stacked in there. And literally every time I had to take something out, I'd dump the whole thing out on the table, and it didn't feel good for my cubes. I didn't like it for myself, but this is awesome. The inside beautiful colors. I just gotta say, like, who doesn't love that blue and black color scheme? Sorry, with the cubicle. I think it's a mirror image. It keeps messing with me. I keep going to turn it the wrong way, but they definitely let you know who this is from. If you're wondering where did I get this, you'll know. But yeah, on the inside. So here, like, a great place to put lubes, tools, all kinds of things. Oh, and another secret pocket back here. Again, put more lubes, tools. You can organize it obviously to your liking, but then you get these, full length dividers, and you can choose to either obviously, let's take some of these out, make some sense of what's going on here. So here are your like in between dividers. So if you set these two long ways, this is what I would assume. Oh, actually, it looks like we go sideways. So we set these in like this. You can make, and this is where it'll take a little bit of adjustment, but like you have now, you have one row here. It's a small one. Again, you might do like lubes or tools, or maybe like, just make it exactly 3 by 3 size. Is that already like this actually goes back in here quite a ways. Like this you could easily fit like 5 by 5s or like a 7 by 7. Like that's a big space in there. So then again, you take the other one. Oh, we have these like straps for customization. There's a lot of customization stuff in here, I have to say. And so we put the other one like this. So now we have this back row, middle row, we have this front row, here, 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 and then we have all these dividers still. So we can put these, and this is where it'll pretty much tell you how far apart to make these because you need them to touch. But actually I did this probably backwards. Yeah, I should probably do it like this. Oh yeah, there you go. Much more even. And again, now these things, now you have these dividers for in between, and I'm sure it looks like kind of a crazy mess right now because I'm just getting it all set up, but yeah, I think honestly too, I think these are set where you can go long ways as well. Um, and that's what I'm kind of interested in doing because you can see that, I mean, you probably can't see it, but there's Velcro back here as well. So you can go long ways. I'm getting these things all over the place. Um, but yeah, you can go long ways. I think that's actually the way to do it is go long ways, and then I think that everything will set up a little better. Um, yeah, very cool though. It has side pockets for like your water bottle. Oh man, and dude, they hooked you up, or they hooked me up, I should say. I would call that a laptop spot. So whether it's an iPad or laptop, now you can keep your computer with you, all your cubes. Yeah, this is super nice. I want to say this was like $40. And $40, you might say that's expensive, might say that's cheap, but in the long run, if you're going to use it, that's really cheap. I mean, this is something where it's going to keep your cubes protected, and you're going to keep them safe. This is even another pocket. Still finding more pockets on this thing. But yeah, it's going to keep everything safe and again, keep your investments safe. I mean, cubes are an investment. We spend a lot of time and money making them what we want and just how we want them. And you don't want to lose them and you don't want to damage them. So yeah, this is I think is a great product. I'm stoked. Oh, and this was also in there. It's a cover case. I think it's a just in case, perhaps just in case. No pun intended, but I did say it. But it gives you like I think, a waterproof cover. So like say you're walking with it or something and oh yeah, there you go. And it's raining or something, now all of your cubes are completely waterproof. Uh, I made the joke in the first video, I was like, oh, I didn't know they gave me a shower cap. This is like Darth Vader's shower cap. This is like the shower cap from Spaceballs. If anyone's ever old enough or whatever to haven't seen the movie Spaceballs, you'll hopefully understand that joke. This is like the helmet from the from Rick Moranis's uh, Darth Vader helmet. But anyways, I think that's all the products, you guys. It was a big box and only I think 5 or 6 items, but they were awesome. Plus the shirt. I'm stoked. I'm totally stoked. I love the dragon coming out of the logo. It's very cool. Um, all right. So now again, I will post the unset up, unbroken in cube solves also, but I'm gonna real quick go through and do a solve on each of these, just to go ahead and let you see just kind of what they're like, what the performance is like. Uh, uh, do, do, do. I kind of actually scrambled it really well. Let's do one more. I think I always say that. Every time I'm like, I'm gonna do one. I'm like, let's do one more. There we go. That was a 6. So 6 on again what I thought was a low grade budget puzzle, but actually I think it's pretty solid. It's like again, this isn't because it's older. They actually use glossy plastic. This is not UV coated. This is just glossy. It's got a few scratches in it because I think it's been sitting in the warehouse for a long time. Probably been shifted around a bunch or whatever. But again, super solid puzzle for like $6 or whatever it is. I can absolutely recommend this to people. Yeah, exactly. It was just out of the box, not the best feeling. Totally honest. Out of the box, it felt really sluggish and dust and dirt all over it, like I said. And once I cleaned it up, once I gave it a loop setup, once I gave it the tensioning and all that, that's why I really, this is almost a blessing in disguise that the video worked out this way because now I can show you a more accurate representation. Because the thing is, with my opinion about unboxing is it's great to know how it's going to feel out of the box. Not saying it's not, but how many people are just gonna not ever do anything? Like, even if it's just adding 2 drops of lube, you've done something to change the feeling. I mean, but I think the Tornado V3 was the only cube that I pulled out of the box, and it was on all like medium stock tensions and whatnot, magnets, everything. And I was like, this is actually kind of the sweet spot. I've never adjusted it, but I think every other single cube I've ever had, I've adjusted. I mean, some of the big cubes, I will admit I don't like take them apart much or anything, but like I will tension them and I will lube them, and I mean I do something. Uh, but anyways, let's do the let's get our cubes out here to solve before I talk the night away here. I know I'm a talker. You don't have to tell me. All right, so I'm gonna do the RS3. This one's not set up. Here's the hear it. I don't know if you can hear that, but this is the RS3M V5 standard. Has had nothing to do with it. I haven't been getting for some reason the cubes haven't been getting picked up by my microphone, but if you can hear that, it is scratchy as heck because there has been no lube added. Um, Probably going to be overshooting like crazy because it's so dry, but that's the point though. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a how does it feel out of the box? So here we go. I guess I need to scramble it, huh? Can't start solving. Like, it'll be a really fast time if I leave it solved. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, I had to double do my PLL. I thought it was a V perm. I've been trying. I'm guessing it's a Y perm. Been going off of my recognition. Just been trying to without reorienting the top layer or anything. I've just been trying to like recognize PLL and go without matching headlights to colors and all that mess. So, uh, but it is what it is. I mean, that would have been a great time. It would have been like 25 had I not redone my PLL twice. Okay, now to the last 3x3, which is the RS3M 2020 UV. Feeling pretty good. Only thing is I've not warmed up. I've literally just been working on getting this video to work all night. So, uh, excuse my slow times, but I just wanted to show you guys the performance here. Sorry, I was working on a whole mess of stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing for next class. Oh God. Oh man, I love this cube. It feels so cool. Oh no, the DNF. You see the middle slices like that. Oh, whatever. So that was one solve. Um, I really like this cube. This is again one of the only cubes that makes me not. I don't feel like it's a 90 or whatever grams. This is definitely that was a big shocker to me. Um, all right, there's two down. Again, not my fastest, but it's an example. That's what it is. All right. So we went through the Yuxin. We went through the RS3M V5. We went through RS3M 2020 UV. Now we're at the 4x4. Okay, let's see how this thing performs once it's lubed up. And I hear a lot of like again mixed reviews, and not necessarily even mixed, but negative reviews about QiYi. I've heard some people just say I won't even buy QiYi, and um, I don't know. I have a kind of special place for them because they were one of my first speed cubes I ever got. It wasn't nice, but it was one of my first ones. I don't have a soft spot in my heart for them, but uh, I also I'm going to be very honest about how this feels, how it is. So everything good going on here? Let's check it out. No. All right, getting a little catchy. Whatever. Let's keep going. I did something wrong there. That was not good. Missed an entire uh, 3-2-3. I missed one of my pairs in my 3-2-3 edge pairing. Let's freaking go. Um, so, oh, nice. I got almost the exact same time as I did earlier on lube, so I think that it's just me, but great cube though, seriously. Very close to my average, like just under 2 minutes. Trying to drop that obviously, but that's just what it is. And yeah, that was great. Felt great. I got a few catches, but I feel like that's common when you're breaking in a new cube. Definitely didn't feel like a cheap $15 cube though. That's what I have to say. Yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. I honestly forgot that I ordered it, so that's why I can't be too upset. Again, pleasant surprise. Would definitely recommend it. If you're a top level 4x4 solver, I would say maybe look for something. There's not a lot of options right now. I mean, a lot of people like the MGC. I am not personally an MGC lover, and that's why it's also another reason I'm holding off on the VinCube. Everyone compares it to the new MGC, and if I didn't like the first one, why would I like this one? So. I'm just a little in between. If anyone has any comments or has a suggestion on a 4x4 that is amazing, like I know the Volk 5 is really good. I'm very curious what the Volk 4 is like. If any of you have any information on these topics, please leave them in the comments. I love to learn. I love to learn from other people. That's why we're here, is to share information. So please let me know if you have any background information on those cubes or any good 4x4. It's really where I'm looking right now. 5x5, we have the Hong that just came out, the Volk, like I said, and then there's going to be the GAN coming out. So I feel like we have some good options in 5x5 right now, but 4x4 is just being like left in the dust. It's really sad, but hopefully that'll change. But this has been the Cube Chemist, going through another big unboxing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Here, let's get my face back on camera and not just looking at my belly. But hopefully that helps you guys. Hopefully that informs you about some new products and some old products and whatnot that are out there. That's what this is all about, is helping each other understand, what's good, what's bad, and that way hopefully you guys don't have to spend as much money maybe as I do on buying cubes. I really love it. So I enjoy this. I love trying out new things and really specifying and getting them, just to my liking. And so yeah, this has been fun, and I'm gonna spend some more time with these cubes, and again, I'll make sure those other solves are at the end of the video. So, oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, because remember, we do have our new giveaway going on. I know I mentioned this in the beginning, but every time one giveaway ends, another one starts. So leave in the comments also if you want to have a 2x2 or a 3x3 for our giveaway for this week. I would love to know what you guys want to get. What would you like to receive as your prize, essentially? Let me know. And on top of that, again, like, subscribe, and comment to enter any of the giveaways. If you're already subbed, just comment. And if you haven't subbed yet, please do. We're trying to build up that channel. But really, it's all about the interactions. That's why I go through and read all the comments. I go through everyone's comments and read them. If I don't reply, this means I just got a lot that day. But I'm gonna always read them, just so you guys know. So I appreciate your guys' support and your constant, participation and the giveaways and the live streams and all that. So thank you guys. Have a beautiful night, and I'll see you soon. all unlubed, unset up, anything. So just remember that. Be forgiving. I'm just kidding. So scramble these up. So even the Yushin's already feeling better, honestly. It's a little catchy. 'Cause it's not like again, it's not like it's some crazy premium cube, but it's not bad at all. It's just um, and this I can just tell I just need to lube it up. It'll and then compress it a couple clicks because it's super close to feeling right already. It's just so fast because it's brand new. Uh, all right, 2x2 first. Oh, let me get set, turned on here. Skip. I actually got a POL skip on my first one. Maybe I scrambled it pretty good. You guys were there. So there's your Yushin Little Magic. Again, it's starting to feel better and better. I was probably a little harsh on it because it was right out of the box. And again, it is a budget cube, so but yeah, there's nothing wrong. Maybe I'll just do one more for fun. Yeah, it's a little catchy. Oh, that was even better. An 8 second with a bunch of, you saw all those catches. I mean, if I was flowing, turning smoothly, that definitely would have been like a 5. Okay, so that's the Yushin Little Magic. Yeah, I think it just, needs a little setup and probably needs a little bit of the attentioning, lube, all that, just like all these do. But that probably not my favorite though. It feels great actually. Oh man, I messed up. I had an Yeah, this needs to be Lou. I don't know if you saw that overturn. I didn't just watch that. That was just God, that could have been such a good time too. But yeah, it needs to be lubed and tensioned just a little bit because that like just overturns so easily. Um, I mean, you can see like just going to do it. See what we can get here. U U3 is about where it maxes out. That's U3. So yeah, it's really fast. And this could use some lube and some setup, but I think it's gonna be a really nice cube. I'm gonna try one more just because I hated that I didn't get to really finish that off properly. It's like falls all out of place, but yeah, like a little bit of lube, a little bit of compression will fix that easily. But yeah, that cut a little like 10 seconds off my solves right there. Just not having to redo my whole OPL out. Okay, now we have 4x4. Oh wow, man, I'm gonna eat crow here in a minute 'cause this thing feels amazing. Uh, wow. Uh, oh man, I'm just like in awe right now. And I actually, oh my gosh, and I actually set all those centers up so well. And man, I am gonna owe QiYi an apology here because this is actually this is a great cube. Oh my gosh. Oh man. So what I initially thought kind of felt light and cheap, it um actually turns so nice and effortless. I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't still feel kind of light or whatever, but holy moly. I see I messed up that one of his fingers, yeah. Yeah, last two edges. That was so weird. I'm like, did I mess up? And no, it just didn't look like it usually did. So there you go. And that was like seriously delightful to solve. The turning is so effortless. Again, it does feel budget, but I think with some lube, um, and some break-in, this will actually start to feel like a nice cube. Um, I was like super questioning my purchase there for a minute, but yeah, no, this is actually quality. It honestly reminds me a lot of like how I feel about their 2x2. It's not like amazing, but it actually turns really well and was really surprising. And it's a very cheap price and very fair price. I mean, and this thing is only a couple more dollars more than the 2x2. So yeah, I don't think they're overcharging or anything. I mean, it is, and the plastic, just kind of like the Yuxin or any of those, like it comes a little bit like scratchy, looks a little scratched already, which isn't awesome, but it doesn't really bug me that much either. Uh, just want to give my honest opinion, but it doesn't feel big. I don't have calipers, but it definitely doesn't feel big in my hands. This is definitely smaller than like the Aosu, definitely lighter. Um, yeah, very pleasant to solve. I have to say that was very pleasant. Um, like pretty normal time for me. But yeah, I got pretty close to my average. It was a little longer, but it felt good. Wow, this is so fast. This is the 2020 UV code of RS3M. I just wanted to fill it one last time before I close out here, but man, is it lightning fast. This is definitely gonna need some lube, but wow. I wonder if everyone liked the RS3M so much. Um, Like, 'cause I like this so much more than the Super was my point. Like, I got the Super for my friend I was saying earlier, and it was all right, but it was a great cube at the time for the money. It was one of the only ones that you could get like for around $20 to get a ball core and all that. So it was a great purchase at the time, but I just feel like there's a lot more cubes that I've found that I like, and I don't think that's my favorite. But yeah, that's why there's plenty in the RS3M series I like. I love the V5. I love the original. Haven't felt the 2021. But yeah, that's just a little bit of run through for you. So again, we have the Yuxin Little Magic was again I just keep giving that a chance as it gets broken in. RS3M V5 standard. I always would recommend this to anyone that's looking for a budget cube. I think it's very similar to the RS3M 2020, honestly. Uh, I think if this wasn't UV coated, they'd be a very similar cube, just with a slightly different center cap. The piece design is a little bit different. Like this has this very rounded corners and whatnot, where the other one is just a little more like it's round, but it has these like square, like scalloped edges. I think that's what you call it. Um, And then you have your 4x4 here, which uh, was surprisingly nice to solve because I'm glad I gave it a chance and didn't just like say this thing's terrible. But yeah, this is a solid cube. I think it was only like $14, so I think that's gonna do it, you guys. Oh, oh yeah, we did that. We had the sorry, I almost forgot we had the backpack, but we did that. That was the very first thing. But again, check out the Lunar New Year shirts. I think they won't be around forever, so I just figured it was might as well pick one up, and I think they look pretty cool. Um, but yeah, hopefully you guys all have a good night. That's what we have, and yes, take care.